Hi, my name is Kees and I help people from doing to being. And today I'm here with another video. And I want to tell you about freedom in a relationship is possible. So I think for many years, I believe that when you are in a relationship, that you give up freedom. And I think this is a very interesting idea, but also a very common idea for people, that relationship, per definition, or a romantic relationship, that a romantic relationship is limiting. Even an open relationship, where you can maybe have sex with other people, is still seen as a limitation. So to me, I have a normal monogamous relationship, and to me, I felt that relationships were limiting, unconsciously. I felt that it was limiting nonetheless. So it was always limiting. You had to give up a part of yourself. I think this is the natural sort of dialogue that you see in society about relationships, that we need to give up a part of ourselves in a relationship. I think this is not true, because if you look at it from a non-dual perspective, first of all, there is no you, right? There's no you. So you have no thing that is there's no you, basically, right? So there's no other. So there's just what's happening, and that's two people meeting and two people maybe being together for a long time. And that doesn't have to be limiting in itself. It's just two bodies, two minds, meeting, interacting, etc. There's no limit that needs to happen there. So first of all, this freedom is possible. So it's good to know, you are not the person, the other person is not a person, So there's just two bodies, two minds, two souls, however you would like to call it, or whatever is happening, meeting and being together. So this is not just an idea. So I will tell you a little bit about how that works practically, because we have, to me, the ego, or the duality, is the individual experience that we have, that there is an individual experience from the five senses of the body. There is an individual experience. And if that individual experience is identified with, then we create the person, and the person is a sort of limited story about the individual experience in the past and future that is created through the identification. And when we let go of that identification, first of all, we lose that sense of being a person. But what also happens is some of the investments we've made, the personal investments, right? The investments that our awareness, or the consciousness that we are, has invested itself in a limited box. It has put itself in a limited box of the person. And in that limited box are a lot of beliefs and ideas and patterns. And when we let go of the person, those beliefs and patterns tend to come up. And some of them are maintained. So if you have a sort of spiritual awakening like I had, some people lose it all, but it's very rare. What is way more common is that if you have a sort of spiritual awakening, that you become aware that you're not the ego, and that you feel this at an experiential level, but you're still pulled back in, that could be, depending on where you are in this process, that could be daily, or it could be monthly, or it could be also unconscious, beliefs and patterns. So a lot of them they become conscious, during the time. And this is the process I'm in currently as well. Maybe that's a lifetime process. I don't know. I'll have to report, report back to you guys, because I think that tends to differ from individual experience to individual experience. But I'm definitely most of the time still in this individual experiencing. And to me, that's not a bad thing at all. I love living that. But one of the unconscious beliefs, and this is, I think, for a lot of people, an unconscious belief, is that you cannot be free in a relationship. And this was one I very recently, actually only yesterday, found out that I was carrying and I was projecting. And of course, I wasn't feeling free in my relationship, which is, I think, very normal result of also believing in in that limitation, believing in that idea. So when two people meet, right, and they are not projecting, or they are not in any way imposing their own limitations on each other, which is very difficult, of course, because you automatically get that automatically happens. And the interesting thing is that doesn't have to touch you, or doesn't have to maybe I should say this in a different way. When I have, for example, with my girlfriend, let's say I have a certain limitation, then I can project it onto her and think that she is limited, or she has bad ideas. Basically, in this case, I was also thinking that she was not free, or she was not letting me be free, while actually I was not letting me be free, or I was not actually allowing myself to be free in a romantic relationship, because I didn't think that was possible. I thought that I really needed to give something up, to adjust myself, or change myself, which doesn't have to be the case, because if you do not think that you need to be less free, then you can, first of all, find a partner that is okay with you being free. Second of all, if that partner is not okay, then it's totally onto them, because they have created something in their own reality where they don't allow a certain behavior. So they're conditional, or they're limited in their view of a partner or a relationship. So freedom in relationships is not only possible, it's solely your own responsibility. It's your responsibility to set yourself free. There is nobody that is holding you back from being free except you. And it's very easy to project that on the other person, or project that on a certain belief, because maybe you share a certain belief, like we cannot be free, right? In a relationship, maybe you share that belief, and then you're not free together. Yeah? And you can be happy and not free, but a part of you is limited and doesn't feel free, and cannot evolve fully, and feels limited. But one partner can have that belief that you can't be free in a relationship, like I had. But my girlfriend was not feeling it in this way as well. So I think I don't know if she shares my belief in that. It's interesting to talk to her about that. But what I do know is that she first of all is not so involved with freedom as I am. So this is, freedom is one of my core values. So wanting to be free is something I'm always, it's a sort of deep desire in me. And so with this video, well, it's going all over the place because I'm currently also thinking and reflecting on this belief of that I carried for so long, like I cannot be free in a relationship. And I'm letting go of this belief. And I'm doing that in a whole bunch of ways, by talking about it, by doing some energy work, etc. But I also want to tell you that this is a belief that I didn't see coming. It was so, it's so big, and I've carried it for so long, and it felt so true, this belief, that yesterday I was kind of shaken up by the realization that this is truly something I believe. Big one. I really felt it. I really felt like, wow, I've been limiting myself so much. And I'm feeling it today still. We actually, as a couple, went to a coach, and that was really nice. She was really good. And it really helped, it really helped me with bringing this one to the light. Also by being open in the session. If you're doing coaching, the more open you can be in the session, the more the coach can work with you, of course. But as a coach myself, I still get coaching because, you have blind spots. And this was a big blind spot for me. It was a big blind spot and this is how it happens, of course. So if you have this belief, you project it into your reality. These beliefs, you see it on YouTube, but there's a lot of science behind it that thoughts become things, thoughts create reality. And that's because you also confirm your own beliefs the whole time. This is sort of the confirming of beliefs. And in my mind, I created a non-free relationship because I was not free. I didn't think I could be free. I didn't think that relationships could be free. If you would ask me, logically, I would say, yes, of course they can be free because I understand non-duality and blah, blah, blah. But this individual experience, or this I, which is still here, it's the consciousness that is having a human experience. In that human experience, I was still attached to a belief. And this is what happens when you understand freedom, or you understand non-duality, or you understand unconditional love, unconditional freedom, then you see in yourself where you're not free, where you're conditional. And I'm so glad that I've noticed this big belief that was in front of my face all the time, but I didn't see it. And I talked about relationships so much, or my relationship in the last 6 months. I was really focused on it. I knew that there was something that needed to shift there. And I'm still working on that, but this was a very big one, which I wanted to share. Because I feel that so much people are, carry a belief like this. So notice, I would invite you to notice for yourself where you don't feel free, where you don't feel chill, where you don't feel relaxed. And try to figure out what is blocking you there. Is it, if you have a belief that you say, but you can't be free, in this, but you still need to, a lot of people have it with work, for example, but you still need to pay the bills. Yeah, of course you need to pay the bills, but actually you don't need to pay the bills. Of course you can not pay the bills, and then maybe you get evicted, I don't know, but there is always a choice there. And there's lots of freedom in choice, and when you feel you don't have a choice, that this is how it is, then especially when we're talking about this spiritual or energetic level, you're blocking yourself so much with this idea or this unconscious belief, or maybe conscious belief that you're carrying, because I probably ventilated that idea that you have to give something up in relationships to other people before, and I don't know whom, because otherwise I would call them and say, hey, it's not true, you can be free. So I'm still evolving, as you can see, and let's evolve together, and let's evolve the planet. We evolve the planet with our consciousness, by being more conscious ourselves, by moving towards freedom. We are the evolution, and we create a new planet, we create a new earth right here, by making different choices, but also choosing to be free. And dreaming big sometimes, because to me freedom is a big dream. It's a really big dream. This mental freedom, which creates the physical freedom, is a very huge, or an energetic freedom, is a very huge dream of mine. And recently I talked to somebody, and we're talking about energy transition, and they were saying, well, we can't fly so much anymore. And of course I understand that for now, we need to change this, and we need to, speed up the creating of alternatives, and we need to subsidize the right things to make sure that, we get to this energy transition. And flying is, way too cheap now, because, for example, let's say you take the train from Amsterdam to Paris. That's 70 euros, but sometimes tickets are even cheaper. While, with the environment, of course, the one has way more environmental impact than the other. What I'm trying to say here is that the person I was talking to say, yeah, you can't fly so much anymore. This is something we should stop. And I personally looked at that and thinking, okay, what we should do is try to develop electric flying as soon as possible, and make all these planes electric. So this is looking for opportunities and believing that there are two things possible: saving the environment, and on the other side, flying. And other people are looking at reality, at what it is, like airplanes, they burn so much fuel and it's very bad, and fossil fuels and blah blah, which I agree to. But they don't see the other thing, like you could do both things. And it's just like relationships. If you could say, if you want to be free, you shouldn't choose a relationship, because you always have to adapt yourself. Well, you can be free and be in a relationship. It's up to you. So dream big. It's your life. And free yourself from all these crap beliefs that you've been told, and that you've somehow believed, consciously or unconsciously, and that are stacked in there. And don't blame yourself, because it happens to everybody. All the spiritual teachers I know have dealt with this. It's just very normal. All the people I see, everybody has limitations. Everybody has a form of limiting belief, and I do believe that there is a possibility, this is me dreaming big, of letting go of all these beliefs, consciously and unconsciously, and that it's possible that you have total freedom. I do believe in that. That's a belief, right? But that's not a limiting belief, so that's, you understand me, right? It's about the limiting beliefs. It's not about I can do it. It's not a bad, it's not a limiting belief. It's about, I think there is this possibility for us to be unlimited and to be free, and that's me dreaming big. I know that, but somebody needs to do it, right? We need to create this new earth together. So I'm dreaming big, also for you, but for everybody, and we're all one. And we're all on this marvelous journey together. So thank you so much for checking out this video, and for believing in, just believe in this, that this individual experience can be a very, very free experience for you, a very nice experience in which your soul develops and expands, and in which the universe expands, in which everything expands, and that we can have the highest plan for ourselves, that we can choose the highest future for ourselves. Even though it's just an experience, I still believe that there's freedom to choose from every time, because this is a planet where you have, in your individual experience, you have a form of free choice. And even though you don't know whether that's really freedom, or that's all this input that you've gathered that you believe in, maybe. Well, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.